All right, thank you everyone for joining our LeagueApps Level Up live webinar today. Our main focus and topic for today is going to be understanding the 5 best practices to create a youth sports website. Now, my name is Robert Bennett, and I will be your host today. Here at LeagueApps, I am a customer success trainer and enabled it specialist. And I'm super excited today to share with all the participants about our amazing team. Before we get started, I do want to go over a few Zoom webinar interface controls. So if you're participating today, you will have the opportunity to interact with us through the chat and the Q&A. Although your camera will not be on, your microphone will not be on, will be able to interact with us, answer questions through these 2 options here, which is our chat and our Q&A. Keep in mind that we will allocate about 5 to 10 minutes at the end of the presentation for any questions that you may have. We will also have a recording of this live webinar for you to watch at a later time. So today I want to look at our overall agenda. So today we're going to be looking at a LeagueApps overview, just a quick introduction about our company and our products. Also, LeagueApps platform overview. And of course, the best practices to create a youth sports website and a conversation with our LeagueApps design shop and a Ripken baseball. And again, we'll have allocated space for Q&A towards the end of the presentation. I do want to share a quote by Nelson Mandela that really speaks about our company and a quote that we really live by. So sport has the power to change the world. It has the power to inspire. It has the power to unite people in a way that little else does. It speaks to youth in a language they understand. Sport can create hope where once there was despair. It is more powerful than government in breaking down racial barriers, and it lasts in the face of all types of discrimination. Again, this is a quote that we really live by, and every day we come in learning the impact and the power of sports. Now, why LeagueApps? I want to walk you through a few key differentiators that sets us apart from our competitors. One is our comprehensive capabilities. So no other platform gives you the ability to manage your operations both in and off the field and integrates with as many third-party tools. 2 is revenue growth. We make it easy to configure everything, helping you meet parents where they are, collect more fees, and generate additional revenue. 3, championship customer service. We prioritize same-day customer support, and we are there to guide you through program setup, and we help you grow and scale your business. 4, professional community. We run Next Up, the industry's only community for youth sports management, giving you tools you need to play to win. And 5, change-making contributions. We donate 1% of our revenue through our Fun Play program, so athletes in underserved communities have access to sports. Now, let's talk about our products for a moment. We offer 3 main technologies when it comes to our platform within LeagueApps. A comprehensive youth sports management platform to manage your business, team-based mobile apps to communicate with your participants, and custom websites to market your brand and drive registrations. So let's dive a little bit deeper into those things. Within our youth sports management program, we offer registration, org management, communication tools, marketing tools, scheduling, reporting, and integrations. Within our team-based mobile apps, we provide scheduling, chat messaging, RSVPs and check-ins, family calendars, 100% syncing capabilities, and 100% ad-free. Also, brand app options, and access any of your teams supported by LeagueApps. And of course, custom websites. Your website should help your club tell your story, promote registrations, and be easy to update and maintain as your club grows and evolves. When you work with our design shop team, you'll get the flexibility and the customization you need to stand out from the crowd. I love to cover more of the nitty-gritty of LeagueApps Design Shop myself, but we thought it'd be better if you heard it more about the youth sports development and design straight from the source. So from that note, I'd like to introduce you to Isaiah Clark, also known on our team as Zay, and he's our senior web designer. Zay works side by side with our partners to help them build the website of their dreams. So Zay, would you like to tell us a little bit more about yourself?
Yeah, most definitely. So my name is Isaiah Clark. I'm senior web designer here at LeagueApps. I've been here for just about 3 years, in October actually. So I'm also a part of the 2021 Crazy Color inaugural cohort presented by Canva and #Sports. During my time here, we worked with and launched hundreds of websites for our amazing partners, providing them the tools to take and level up their online presence. So crave the pleasure to be here.
Awesome. Now, Zay, tell us, how long have you been at LeagueApps, and well, also, how did you get involved?
Yeah, so I was a freelancer for a good amount of time before I came here at LeagueApps. Went to school upstate New York, casual computer science degree. You eventually figure out what you want to do after you graduate college. So my thing was, of course, making websites and really improving people's view on the internet. What that entails, designing or developing. At LeagueApps, I have the best of both worlds, so I get to do both. So it's a no-brainer to be here at LeagueApps and providing the services to our partners.
That's awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that.
Yeah.
Next, I'd like to introduce you to John Rowland of Ripken Baseball. John is the Senior Manager of Marketing and Analytics at Ripken Baseball, who recently launched a beautiful new website through LeagueApps Design Shop. John and I would love to use this. We would love to use this time to tell you more about some really fun facts. But first, we'd love to congratulate the Ripken Foundation and the ribbon cutting ceremony this spring at your new facility in Aberdeen, Maryland. So let's look at some of the highlights from this ribbon cutting experience. And John, quick, let us know how this experience was and a little bit background on yourself as well. It'd be great.
Of course. I appreciate you guys having me on today. The website build process with LeagueApps, was a great experience. Zay and I bonded through that. Before we got started, I want to give a shout out to Zay. He was grinding behind the scenes back then. It's awesome to see him in the limelight, seeing the Creators of Color Award and recognition that he's gotten. It's well-deserved, and it's great to see people recognize the talent and skill that he brings to his role. So congrats again, Zay. But yeah, what you're seeing on our screen, and if you're not familiar with Ripken Baseball, we have lovely state-of-the-art facilities across the country. Actually just added our 4th. So as you see, news changes fast at Ripken Baseball. But at this moment in April, we introduced 2 new fields at our Ripken Experience in Aberdeen. This is Cal and Bill Ripken's backyard. This is where they grew up. This is where they fell in love with the game. The great thing about the Ripken Experience Aberdeen is all the fields you're seeing here are replicas of major league parks. So we have Yankee Field closest to you. You'll see Fenway and the Green Monster nearby. But this April, we introduced City and PNC Park. We get a lot of teams that travel from the Northeast corridor, so it made sense to only have the Pirates and Mets replicas at our stadium as well. And if you ever buy, it's always free admission. Swing on in. Our Cal Seniors Yard, our replica of Camden Yards, actually has a Marriott hotel in right field, which is a replica of the warehouse at Camden Yards. So it's a great experience, whether you're playing with us or just stopping by. We encourage you to swing on in. But yeah, this happened in April. It was great to see our LeagueApps employees there and supporting us. Since then, just as of last week, announced our 4th facility at Elizabethtown, Kentucky. And once again, we'll probably reference that example throughout our conversation today. That's a little background on what happened in April at Ripken.
Wow, man, that's amazing. I mean, it looks beautiful. The facility looks amazing. Looks like a super impact, and I really look forward to checking it out myself. Thanks, John, for that. And also congratulations. Thanks again so much. From here, I'm going to let Zay take it away. From here, he's going to ask John a few questions about the site, about the building process when it comes to League Apps design and what that looks like. And we're going to learn a little bit more through their conversation about their step-to-step process and building the site, and to learn how to help you also do the same for your partners and for our members that are here today. So Zay, go ahead and take it away.
Awesome. I'm excited to get started. John, as I remember very vividly, we had a very great time working on that project. For those in the audience, John and I worked primarily together as a two-man show, I like to say, working on a project of that size. So let's dive into the project to start. So why did you decide Ripken Baseball needed a new website? What gaps you looking to fill? What problems you looking to solve? Why need a new website in the first place?
Of course. I've been with Ripken Baseball over 6 years now, so I've seen a couple iterations. It started when I first came in the door, where we had no access to our CMS, right? Everything had to be brief in for change or edits. And being a small business, although we have a large impact, we're still a small business. So being able to be nimble and be able to make those changes in real time. We had those kind of handcuffs on our website experience previously. But Robert mentioned a lot of the reasons earlier, right? We're not only looking at front end, we're looking at back end through registration, through operations, through finance and reporting. Today, we're going to focus on the front end. And that's being the marketing guy, being the brand guy. Although I'm looking out for the rest of the people within our company as well. It's important for us to be able to bring our story to life through our website, through our content. We've made that transition over the last few years of really investing in good photography, rebranding our logos, and being a premium product, a premium experience. We have to be able to showcase that to the customer, especially new customers through our website. And Zay, you go through a lot of these processes, you go through a lot of vendors, you get out of the box solutions. Out of the box was never spoken about with us. Everything's custom. It's accessible so we can edit it when we need to. But this, you'd have no idea this was a LeagueApps website unless you kind of saw the little check mark towards the bottom of the screen. This is fully Ripken and fully our brand, which we're excited about and well worth all the time and energy we put into it.
Wow, awesome. And those in the audience, we're gonna hear some buzzwords in the website world. CMS is content management system. For those wondering what that is, you can think about it. I like to use the example a lot, like the way you update your Facebook or Instagram. That's basically a content management system. You put your picture up there, it puts on the site a certain way. You can put some amount of slides on there. So that's what a CMS is. All right. So the project in general, I love to talk about it because it's one of my favorites. And John, you made a really good point about, as you guys were growing and updating your branding and looking to expand and taking the handcuffs off. It's really important that you work with a designer or developer that allows you to really freely do what you need to do. And you guys launching a new location is very a testament to that, because you did not need me to do any of that. You guys was able to do that stuff on your own, which is fantastic. So what I'd love to get into next is really the nitty gritty, is like the process of what to expect when you even want to build a new website. Okay. So at LeagueApps, we like to take a conservative approach to every sports website. Like John said, we're not pulling this out of the box. It's not one size fit all kind of solution. So from ideation to launch, designers with our partners every step of the way. Okay. So at Design Shop, we use a consistent process. Entails 4 major steps. That's what you guys see on the slide. Planning, design, development, and launch. Those are the 4 high-level pillars I like to employ my team and Design Shop to work through. So I would love to get into the process of how we work and the work it takes behind the scenes to build a website. Let alone something as comprehensive as ripkenbaseball.com. A Design Shop, again, we use a consistent process and a course of action with our website. So when developing a website, it's so important to have a solid plan. And again, a course of action, I'm gonna keep saying that. Because we can't just pull out the head. It's like building a house. If you want to build a house, you know what it looks like, but you got to build a foundation. You got to have an architect, right? Like you got to buy the materials. Websites are no different. All right. So I have this cool quote I like to say. You can have many great ideas in your head, but what makes the difference is the action. Without an action upon idea, there'd be no manifestation, no results, no reward. Right. So I'm just gonna keep hammering home those things because it doesn't go a long way. So, John, can you describe your Design Shop experience from beginning to launch? That's a loaded question. I know you talk all day about it, but real high level. Talk to me about your experience with design shop.
I was gonna say you have these 4 steps on the screen, Zay, and you went over them like that happened over a week's time.
I know, right?
With these steps, but I think as you talked about, planning is the most important step of the process, and I'd also say it requires effort on both sides.
Yep.
Right. It cannot be driven all by one side. Although you're the most talented designer in the world, in my book, Zay, you can't design without direction and without assets. So meet in the middle, it's same as, Cal at shortstop turning two, right? You can't turn two unless the guy's at second ready to receive the ball. So it's important from that planning process. One, what are the assets? What are the pieces that you have available? We're lucky. We aggregated a lot of photo, video, logos, content over the years that we were hitting the ground running. What is your wireframe? How's a customer going to interact with your website? How are they going to get from point A to point B to eventual conversion registering for a tournament or event? And those pieces, and how are they going to get to those actions quicker? There's a reason there's a CTA in the upper right of our website. There's a reason there's a phone number in the upper right as well. So it's important to put those plans and goals together from step one, because it's also only fair to the client and the person on the other side that we are working towards the same goals and we're working from the same plan. So I remember like yesterday, I could probably still draw like the back of my hand, but our task manager that we even set up in the planning process, here's every page we have to create.
Yep.
Here's the assets we have, here's the steps it's at. So I think it's important not to rush into the process, but really get to know each other in the planning process and set that plan of attack. Otherwise, you're going to be setting yourself up for failure transparently without that clear direction.
Yep, most definitely.
What do you find important in that planning stage? I guess, how are you set up for success?
I am huge on planning. I like to say, as a designer, like, design is very subjective. Mm-hmm. You're a designer and you're working somewhere professionally. We all have a general understanding of what looks good, right? We shouldn't have neon blue on neon red, right? Like, most people know if a picture is pixelated, you shouldn't have that on a website. So I like to say design, for the most part, is what it looks like. That's an easy step. Still, like I said, like you said, it's not more something we did in the day, but in the grand scheme of things, like, I put more weight on planning rather than design. So in the planning section, one of my favorite and one of my, I deem as most important, is the user experience part of it. Like you said, like, we did a good job of really outlining every page, the functionality on that page, the end goal of that page, right? And we did it on paper, right? One of the things I love to show as additional resources, Robert, after the webinar, is kind of like something that would look like. We took a Word document. We literally spent weeks working on every page, bullet point each of them out, and the end goal. So that way, when it comes down to why do I need a CTA in the top right, we know why. We spent weeks talking about it, and it's written down on paper, right? Something we can go over and improve on. So to answer the question, yeah, most definitely user experience plan, man. Always.
Agree. The other piece that I love that we did early in the process, Zay, was we educated you on our brand as well. Who are we? The more you understood that we're a family brand, an experience brand, right? We're not worried about the box scores of a baseball game. Of course, we hope you come out with a dub, but we hope anyone, no matter you're 0-6 or 6-0, you come out with a phenomenal experience at our facility and our experiences. And I think educating on our brand voice, what we're trying to communicate to our customer and who we are, that allows you then, when you go to the design or you're going to your creative board, to think like us. And you're playing a big catch up, right? Where I've been here for 6 years. You're with us, a week at that point. Right. But taking that time to understand our brand and product, I think, allows you to be more creative and also direct your creative attention within kind of our brand guidelines as well.
Well, definitely. And I want to piggyback on that, just a little bit of a industry insight. The Facebooks of the world, Instagrams of the world, right? These big companies, like, when they do an app update, they have 12 people in the room, right? Thinking about trying to figure it out. And I say, in these large agencies, anytime you make a new website for, like, I don't know, Procter & Gamble, or like the new Target.com, right? Like, the team at Target, it's explaining to that designer their business plan, what they want to do, how they want to do it. So I really do think back a lot to our process. That the first few weeks is literally just us having a conversation, like, what is Ripkit? I'm a football guy, so, like, I can talk about football all day, but baseball might be a new round for me. So as a designer, it's definitely important for me to understand those goals. So most Most definitely. That's a big part of the process.
I want to hit on one last note because you kind of referenced it quickly, and we can obviously hop ahead. But I'd also recommend plan and strategize your website for tomorrow and what's ahead, not today. Because content websites, they get outdated really quick. Your storytelling gets outdated really quick. We just came off a release of announcing our 4th facility. And Zay, if you rewind the clock back to when we were sitting, you're like, here's our navigation for 3 facilities.
Yep.
Is it ready for 4? Is it ready for 5? And being able to think ahead and think that process when we were going to make heavy lift and heavy changes on our website last week, it was easy. We had the structure in place. We had the plan in place to go do that. And it's looking ahead, even though in the moment you're just trying to get up and running, but definitely trying to, set that website for future success.
Yeah, most definitely. And I would love to, this is a perfect segue into the next slide. I like to call the ways you can future-proof your website. You hit it on the nail. Like you can make a website for spring tryouts, and then winter comes or next year when you guys or somebody like grows 50% or you get 2 more locations, right? You don't have to make a new website, right? So one of the more important things I like to focus on is most definitely identifying your audience anytime you're revamping, enhancing and building your website. Also identifying yourself as a business and your goals, where you want to head towards, right? A lot of times people like to be very customer focused, which is of course the reason why we're all in business. But at the end of the day, like you hit the nail on the head. You got to set yourself up for success in the future. So one of the main things to do that before building websites, important to ask your team and yourself a few questions to help you build and set yourself up for success. Let's get into what that process looks like, right? What kind of questions look like. So how would you describe the Ripken audience, a customer? Like, how do you feel your previous sites failed to speak to this audience? What are we looking forward to improve in a new website? Talk to that about a little bit.
Absolutely. And I'll break it down as simply as I can to our audience. We were always focused on the coach or team admin only on the website. The person raising the finances or organizing the event. As our brand has grown and really our summer season is highlighted by these week-long experiences where people are with us for a week of baseball. In Myrtle Beach, they're spending time at the beach just as much as they're spending time on the baseball field. When that happens, now you have families and you have parents that are traveling with us with just as much interest in the experience and the event because they're planning for a vacation. So previously, I think we used to look at our website as, does the coach have the rules? Does the coach have the information to communicate back to their parents? But now do we have the resources, entertainment, hotels, et cetera, for our parents and families of the players? Do we have the easy streaming links to the grandparents who might not be able to make that trip? So by us looking at the broader audience, our 13 participants per team versus 1 contact per team, we've adapted our website to be more nimble for that and have those resources more readily available for our entire audience.
Awesome. Very, very important, Greg. And that goes back to the point we talked about, just future proofing and making sure we don't leave any stone unturned, So I would love to use the word called nimble, right? When editing your website, you do need to be nimble, right? Let's say there's a cancellation of the weather, right? There's a new person who committed to a big college, in you guys' case, a new facility, right? You don't want to have to call somebody up in an office or a support team, say, can you update my website, right? So one of the main things that LeagueApps here in Design Shop, more specifically, like we spend a good amount of time on creating module blocks, templates, these website building blocks to help you guys achieve those goals. So how did LeagueApps Design Shop help you, one, craft that new story that you wanted to do to focus on the new customers, but also hit those deliverables on your website as far as like information, links, PDFs, that kind of stuff. So let's talk about that a little bit.
Absolutely. And by using WordPress and the Beaver Builder plugin that we use, a CMS management tool, what you're able to do in the Design Shop was able to do, Zay, is you're able to use your design experiences and expertise to build us modules, right?
Yep.
Here's a forced call to action row that you can edit the colors now, right? I can change out the photos, I can change out the links, but I don't have to brief that into you to create that. So you gave us all the puzzle pieces. We can form a lot of different puzzles with it now, but you gave us those pieces to go in there and make those edits. And now we can tell whether it's a macro campaign of a new facility, updating navigation all through our internal pages to backend registration, or a micro campaign of announcing our new fields, although important, our fields in Aberdeen. We can now, hit our slider on our homepage in a small lift. So our content, which we used to fear and dread changing over, as weird as it may sound, like we get excited to change it over, because as a marketing and content people ourselves, like making those puzzle pieces work, or making those edits and making things look visually better or in the right spot, it's an exciting process, and now it's fun. It's not something that we fear.
And I don't know about you, but I like fun.
Yeah,
That's a good time. Editing your website should never be something you dread, right? Like in my experience, and especially in design shop, like we do so many of these projects a year, and one of the main things we like to pride ourselves on is after you launch a website, you probably won't hear from me again, or I probably won't hear from you again. And it's a good thing, right? Unless we go into your city or we're having a good time, but like it's not because, hey, I can't change this color of my button, right? Hey, I need to promote this new venture next week. I need a designer to do that. That's something that working with a designer, and two, building a new website, something that I feel like people should definitely take into account and really put a lot of energy into. So glad to hear that's going well.
Think of it like, right, we'll keep relating to baseball, because we got to teach you a little bit more on baseball, because you got the football pass and still obviously heavily involved. But if you step into the batter's box with fear rather than a fun mindset, your swing's not going to be the same. So if we go into our website and our content sandbox of the website with fear, our copy is not going to come across the same. We have to be energized to go write our best story, to go put the best messaging out there. If we're approaching with fear, you're going to get a pretty dry brand or a dry message that's not doing our product justice.
Yep. And just to piggyback off of that as well, is like, and going to the idea thing that we started the conversation with. You can have an idea of what your website looks like, some amazing thing you want to do, but if you don't got the tools to make it, and you can't see that vision through, it's going to stay here. And then, like you just said, like what comes out into the website might not be something that you want, So perfect segue into editing your website, right? I would love to talk about that next. So Robbie, if you can just jump to the back end slide, that'd be great. I would love to talk about WordPress as a whole, and kind of the everyday tools that John uses on his working website. So can you talk about your experience so far editing your maintaining your website? More of the nitty gritty. Like, let's say you yourself wanted to edit something on the website, right? Like, talk about that process that, of course, I trained you how to do, how easy it is to update information on the website.
Yeah, it's simple. Once again, when you experience our website, it looks like everything's one easy flow. When you look on the back end, it's just stacked blocks. It's stacked modules. It's stacked pieces of content. And it's all optimized for mobile or the device that you're viewing on, which if you're in the websites, you're in that game, optimizing things for mobile could take years in itself. So to have a tool that is taking some of those technical expertises and doing it automatically is huge for us. As I said, we're a small marketing team. We don't have web designers, right? We have marketing experts that are focusing on that and going in here. But yeah, you click in, you pop open a module, it's easy. And then the best way to refer to is as we brought on a marketing manager earlier this year, right? Yeah. I had the opportunity working with Jose, getting taught from all these modules and the CMS experience. When we onboarded him and he hopped in here, he picked it up so fast. These are all new tools. These are all new CMSs. It's all so self-intuitive. And I think that's a credit to what you've set up here for us.
Lovely. That's great to hear again. At Design Shop, we use WordPress. That's mainly what our websites come from. We also use a visual editor called Beaver Builder. And again, just making your everyday maintenance of text and colors and pictures easy to change. And two, for your designer, even if you don't, go with LeagueApps or whatever, like they are able to set up these module blocks or these puzzle pieces that John spoke to earlier to help you maintain your website. So you speak about mobile, which is always a great thing. All right, so love to talk a little bit about that. Little fun fact about 80% of users use their phone to visit the web. I think the other 20 is people sitting in their offices. So if we just want to round that up to 100, most of the people use visiting your website on their phone. All right. Even more of them, if you can go over 100%, expect a flawless experience, you know, wherever they go. So mobile is important. And one thing on the Ripken website is that the page builder and a lot of things I set up for you guys automatically converts and is responsive for you. So I would love to speak a little bit about that. Have you got any like feedback from parents or partners on the new website and how it is on mobile compared to the old site?
Yeah, it's mobile optimized. It's mobile responsive. Everyone is living off their phones, and that percentage is not going down every day. It's only increasing. There's little nuances of content management that I appreciate. And you know, I used to have to go to my phone when checking a website or editing a website, simply by minimizing the window, right? Shrinking the window.
Yeah.
You can see that mobile view in real time. And it might sound silly, but as you're working through a lot of different nuggets of the website and being able to quickly see that view on your desktop screen, that's huge. And once again, it's super self-intuitive. You're going to know how things stack. You're going to know how to reposition things and optimize it for mobile. So it's been huge for us. I want to just rewind one point of one of my favorite things about the CMS, Zay, is you can save anything, right? So when we went to go create new facility pages for our Elizabethtown, of course, we're changing out photos, we're changing out copy, but we had a good structure for our Aberdeen, Myrtle Beach, Pigeon Forge pages. We can simply save or duplicate pages or save modules and carry them over, and you're not starting from ground zero at every point. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So it makes it easy when 70% of the work's, you know, kind of already done from the planning and process that we put in from day one to make us successful now.
That's huge. That's huge. And I always tie it back to planning because design is the fun part.
Mhm.
Building is very straightforward and repetitive.
Yep.
But that work we did early on, just identifying what a location page would look like.
Yep.
And we're able to apply it to the website building, even to when you release a new location. So it speaks volume to the process in whole and kind of the good work that we've done. So good to hear again, my friend. Good to hear again.
Absolutely.
I would love to talk a little bit about SEO. And this is a hot topic.
Mhm.
Many of our partners are just outside in the world. We want to be able to see our website on Google. And everybody thinks and wants that first top spot, right? And John, I'm sure you know, as we spoke about a lot that goes into even being ranked on Google. So I would love to speak about, you know, how do LeagueApps help or aid your SEO strategy and optimization? Like, how has your website ranked performance since working with LeagueApps? Like when you release new pages, can you speak to that a bit?
Of course. Once again, we are a small marketing team and small business. We do not have someone that is dedicated to SEO only. So that means myself, our other marketing teammates, that's a part of what they're doing, right? So being able to make SEO approachable, which can be a terrifying topic if you're unfamiliar with it, or it could be a bit intimidating. What we've been able to do with WordPress and Beaver Builder and some of our plugins on the backside is break down that SEO language to a common language, right? We can see when keywords on the page are optimized correctly. We can see recommendations for page titles. And the greatest example of this, once again, we're not far removed from this fourth facility and going through this experience not too long ago. Our initial build has been a little bit. This fourth facility not too long ago. And we were looking at it, we're like, all right, how are Elizabethtown pages ranking? Search Elizabethtown Ripken. First result, it was our landing page that we just launched 48 hours previously. So I think that is proof of how simple it is and how effective it is, because whether it's Beaver Builder or WordPress, they give you these hints of where to optimize, and they also give you the language that you're ready to speak and the instructions that you can go and execute.
Fantastic. And for the audience, we use a plugin called Yoast inside of our WordPress installs. It really puts it in English, a lot of the SEO buzzwords and a lot of the technical steps you need to help your pages on your website rank high. So I'm very glad you was able to use that. As John, you said, we've been a little removed from the project, so it's good that you still have a lot of those tips that I gave you when we first started. So that's awesome to hear. So overall,
I listened.
hey, glad it's going through. Glad it's going through. So that's fantastic, man. So overall, very glad that the website's doing well, you're doing well. And most definitely, thank you a billion for chatting with me about great ways you can make your website awesome. All right, so we're gonna send it back to you, Robert. John, if you don't have anything else, we're all good.
I think we're hopping to some questions, right? But once again, just want to thank you.
Yeah, that was some great conversation. I feel like I learned a lot just from your experiences and really great tips on how to just make those websites and bring out those stories and bring out that personality within your brand and show how amazing it can be with our team. And thank you, Zay and John, for that. That was awesome. So this next portion, we're going to share some additional resources that we want for you to take with you after today's webinar is finished. What we have with this website link that we're going to share with you in a Q&A, I'm going to bring it to our chat here in one moment. And this is a link that's going to direct you to our 5 best practices that help you create youth sports websites that really convert. So I'm going to share this out to all the participants that are joining today. And it's just going to be join.leagueapps.com/website best practices, where you can learn a little bit more in terms of our youth sports website ebook, which will allow you to kind of get more hands-on in some of the topics that we went over today. So definitely take advantage of that resource and check it out and be able to continue learning more about how you can make your website really kind of wrap around your brand. So, and again, for today's topics and what we covered for today, we looked at a quick LeagueApps overview in terms of our business and also our platform overview as well. And again, some of the good practices and great conversations that we had with our design team and design shop with Zay, and also Ripken Baseball with John here today. And yes, we are leaving the space open for some Q&A, and we do have some questions that have come in. So I'm going to facilitate some of these questions here as they come in. So the first one we did have was a question in more detail in terms of what is exactly a wireframe, if you can explain.
One of my favorite questions. Thank you for that. So wireframe, I'm going to keep it real easy to understand. Wireframe is basically a grayscale layout of what you want a page or an app or a certain function to look like. So kind of just imagine if you're on Facebook, just take all the colors, pictures, and text away and just put gray boxes. That is a wireframe. That way a designer and a stakeholder can definitely go through. You can easily move sections and certain points on the page without needing to develop a whole website or an app to do that. So that's what a wireframe is.
So wireframe sounds like it's key, essential to
key, major key.
It's important. It brings up a lot of good questions in the design process too, of how does a customer interact with our website? And I'll be transparent about ours. One of the questions we faced was, are they looking for a specific location first, or are they looking for a specific program?
Yeah. The
answer ended up being probably both. So we built our nav to be nimble and be able to answer both of those customer pathways. But it's the wireframe process. It's a good kind of look in the mirror to see how prepared your plan and strategy is. So it's good for you to clarify some of those web terms that you weren't clarifying throughout
man.
You taught me on CMS, so I'm glad someone caught you on wireframe.
We got both sides of the spectrum today. I like it.
Yeah. And I know you hinted about that earlier, about the planning process being like very key and a really fun part about it too. That's where you kind of get the brainstorming and thinking about how you want to map everything out. So planning and preparation is super key. So thank you for that. And the next question we have is from Eric. This might be more directed towards you, Zay, for our LeagueApps team. But how does someone with a small business get together with someone from LeagueApps, like, for example, John and the Cal organization. Eric mentioned that we are growing and would love to use your website for registration. And they currently use our website for registration. And I think they would love to evolve it and grow it a little bit more. So maybe we can speak on how to create, how they can get introduced to our team and the steps to that.
Yeah, I can easily answer that. So if you're using LeagueApps for registrations now, it'll be easy to just reach out to your CSM or account manager, or even support. They'll be able to move forward and connect you to the right people. There is a step before they get to Isaiah Land and Design Shop, but they're very capable and very nice and very knowledgeable people that can point you in the right direction there. If you're not with LeagueApps, right, there's definitely, again, a good way to reach out, which is on leagueapps.com/design. You can look at some information there and most definitely be able to reach out to somebody to get you started on the process.
I will say in the process, because when I went through the first time or second time, it's intimidating. So I'd always say there's other people in the space and in similar roles that are resourced. So if there's anyone on the call today that wants to, pick my brain or bounce ideas, here as a resource as well. Our sports network is a small one. So it's good to look out for each other.
Yeah. John's an easy guy to get a hold of.
Definitely. So definitely reach out. So Eric, if you have those questions and want to learn more about just our design team, reach out to our CSM. We're definitely more than able and willing and excited to help you build that and start that process. And we're getting some comments in from the chat saying they love this conversation. They thought it was a great takeaways that we're able to get from there. So it's great to see that our crowd is engaged today and they love the conversation that we have. So far, we don't have any additional questions, but again, people are emphasizing that they love building with LeagueApps and love our current platform. They're using our platform for the registrations and love to see how we can help expand it. So this is a great demonstration on how to do that. We're getting a lot of great thanks and appreciation from the chat. So a lot of good energy, a lot of great vibes. This is great. Thank you, everyone that attended today. We definitely, we leave it for just a few moments. If you do have any additional questions, again, Zay and John are here to help support. But we do thank everyone here for joining today. We really appreciate the questions. We appreciate the chat and keeping engaged with us. I had a really great time. I feel like I learned a lot from the conversation that we had today. And I really look forward to seeing where we grow with the Ripken Foundation. That's one of my favorite works to be a part of. Great impact, great people doing some great things in the Maryland area. So it was really fun to see that come to life through the website.
Robert, I got to take that opportunity. I got to plug what's ahead for our business. We just announced our 4th facility with Elizabethtown, Kentucky, our 4th destination. In addition to our locations in Aberdeen, Maryland, Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, right in the beach. Pigeon Forge, Tennessee, if you haven't been there, nestled in the Smoky Mountains, one of the greatest backdrops in youth baseball. And through our Ripken Select tournament programming, we're going to new locations every year in summer. So over the next 30 to 60 days, August 1st is our on sale date for our week-long experiences for 2023. We encourage you to check out our website, reach out to a teammate. We are full experience from start to last out. So from your first question, we have sales reps that are dedicated to your questions, much like you guys in your design shop. It is vacation planning, so we're there to answer questions. As you register for a tournament, we transition over to our operations team that can answer everything about the tournament in the local area. And then once you're on site, it's impossible to miss a Ripken teammate, always available for questions. But our white glove week-long experiences go on sale August 1st. So we encourage everyone, if you haven't given us a look yet, definitely check out ripkenbaseball.com. It's a pretty good website, right, Zay?
I agree.
Top-notch stuff, man. Top-notch stuff, top-notch experiences. And if you love the game of baseball, I mean, what better place to learn and be a part of it. And just to mention from some individuals in the chat, just as a reminder for today, this conversation, this webinar is being recorded and will be available on our LeagueApps YouTube channel. So if you want to watch it at a later time, we'll have that later today for you to rewatch and kind of still take it with you in a way, and take the conversations with you, and kind of take that experience and have those additional resources as well at the end of this webinar. So no additional questions have come in yet, but again, we want to thank everyone here today that's joined. I want to thank you, John. I want to thank you, Zay, for just speaking on those experiences. And again, congratulations on the new facility. I can't wait to visit one myself. It was one of the most beautiful facilities I've ever seen, just through the photos and videos. It looked absolutely amazing. And the website complements it very well. So great work. Super excited to be a part of this team today. And we look forward to future webinars with all the participants here today, and look forward to future webinars with the Ripken Foundation as well. And thank you all again. And from myself to everyone here, remember to play forever.
Thank you all. Appreciate the time today.
Bye, guys.